Although I've been on social media for maybe a couple of years now, today is my very first Facebook Live.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was going to be very authentic, and I did zero makeup, as you can see, and didn't do my hair. Because I wanted to authentically present myself.
I love it.
So here's the thing, Nadirah, my dear friend, we're not going to wait on Facebook. It still says preparing, and those who fail to prepare has prepared to fail. So Facebook has failed to prepare for us, but we're still going to go with this. I'm going to jump into it. We've already started recording so we can get this baby shooter back out to those who missed it. And when Facebook does decide to catch up, we will get jiggy with it. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely excited today to bring to you a dear friend. And this young lady, this amazing soul, has over 23 years in the corporate world. So when you think about it, it's not 10, 15, not 20, 23 years. She's also a conservative candidate for the beaches in East York. That's in Canada, for those of you who don't understand. We got all our Canadians on today, eh? Right? So I know all the Canadians. I love Canada because they're so intelligent. Anyways, what I want to share before we jump in and I introduce this young lady is this. She's also the host of her own Tag with Nadirah Nazeer talk show. You got to get on there. And she's worked closely with the women from shelters and new immigrants. And most important, ladies and gentlemen, here's the greatest part. So you're going to learn a little bit today why it's important and how to go through with her topic, which is how to kind of get through with these tough times, right? Bringing some happiness in your life, because she is originally from the island of Mauritius. And if you've done any research, the island of Mauritius is known as the happiest people on planet Earth. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, Miss Nadirah Nazeer, take it away.
Thank you so much, Abam. I really appreciate this lovely introduction. And I feel extremely honored today that you invited me and have me chat with your great ladies. Actually, I just realized it's old lady. Oh, except Joe. Sorry, Joe. And Abam, it's amazing to see some amazing people here on the call, and I look forward to have a conversation. And I just want to say this is not just about me coming on and talking about embracing the new world. I want it to be a conversation because each one of us will bring something different to the table. And I just want to add a little bit to what Obama said. As you can tell, I wear many different hats. And the reason is because I think it's duly part of my personality. I'm always in constant growth and learning. And I'll explain how I'm adapting to my new reality with COVID-19. But I'm an individual who's always loved growing and learning. Routine is not my thing. I like routine from a base perspective, from a foundational, because it grounds me. But I'm always searching to look at doing new things. And that's hence I wear so many different hats, from being in politics, in the corporate world, helping out with the immigration, with people, new immigrants, helping out with the women's shelter, and doing TV shows. And I think all of us have many different sides of our personality. We're not just the one individual, right? We have layers of us. So to bring it back now to what I want to discuss today is about embracing our new reality. This is unprecedented, what we're going through right now globally. Nobody ever thought that the world can stop. Actually, it has, right? But us as human beings, we've always go. We were always working in this very busy mentality. We're always very busy doing something and in and out and always rushing all over the place. And we always wish that we had more time to do ABC. Now we have that time to do ABC. Now we're literally down to the basic, right? You're working at home, paying your bills, making meals. Right? We're very confined into just environment. And we know this is not going to change anytime soon. And here's the reality. It's not going to be changing in a few weeks. It's probably going to be like that for a few months until we get to some kind of a new normal. Because the way the world used to be, I don't think that was going to come back in the same way. I think it's just going to come back in a different way. Us now as individuals, we need to adapt. I don't know, show of hands here. Have any of you read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Curry, you heard about it? Okay, I can see you. Okay, okay, Obama, you've read it. And it's exactly this, because our cheese has been moved and we're not constantly trying to look for it. Well, it's not going to be there. It has changed. So what we need to do as individual is to really kind of stop and say, okay, instead of me fighting it and having anxiety and be all stressed out about the fact that my reality is gone, is a new reality, I just need to take a moment, breathe, and embrace it. And now start thinking about that list that we had about things that we've always wanted to do that we said we never, I wish I had time to do this. Well, now is the time for you to do this, whatever this is. Whether learning a new language, learning how to dance, everything is online nowadays. You can learn anything and everything online. And here, just to personalize it, this is what I've done. Last year was a very, very hectic year for me. And I was barely at home. So I never really had a chance to get grounded with the kids, so to cook or to bake. And I have to tell you, for the first time in my life, I actually baked bread. I made bread 2 weeks ago. I loved it. But did you know bread takes at least 4 hours to make? Because there's a lot of proofing that happens. But I enjoy that process because A, I'm having a new learning. B, I now have something at the end of it that I can enjoy and I can experiment. So since then, I think I've made bread 4 different times. And today I'm going to try to make another kind of bread. So I'm constantly not, I took something new. I'm now going to master it. I figured, you know what? Let me see how good I can get at making that bread. But this is me, my personal thing, right? Because I've never made it. I've always wanted to do it. And I have to tell you, there's some amazing recipe online that you can look up and then you can be creative about it. So there's a few things that does for an individual. A, I'm learning something new. B, I'm not challenging myself. C, as a product, well, you have something delicious to eat at the end of it. And I think that's how we need to take on the whole self-isolation, the whole quarantine things. What do we want to do? What do we want to do with our time that will now bring that new enjoyment? Because for me, after working and some regular cooking and cleaning, I'm like, okay, now what? What do I do? I felt super boring. How many Netflix shows can we really watch? Right? We get bored. So I figured, let me challenge myself with something different. And that challenge could be different for each one of us. So instead of me continuing, what I want to do, I want to make this very conversational. So I don't know who wants to share. What is that one thing that you've done during COVID that you've never done before? Who wants to share? Okay, Alka, go ahead. We want to unmute Alka. Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm planning to do now is an online course, and I feel that, you know, this is something that needs to be done. And, you know, with most of us that we don't have, you know, we're out of jobs. So this is something that, you know, the studio is closed. So for me to keep the engagement with my clients, I'm going to be having an online course that's going to be coming out soon. So that is something different that I'm going to be doing that I haven't done before.
And you feel great about it. There's a sense of satisfaction to it.
There is, and I'm really looking forward to that because I'm looking forward to helping the women, you know, what I'm going to be talking about. So that's going to be something different, and I'm really looking forward to that, to bringing that on board.
So, and Carrie, I want to get to you too, but really, for folks who are listening out there, instead of just complaining, because here's the truth, we have zero control of what's going on right now. And you've always heard that the only thing that you have control over is how you're going to react to it and what you're going to do. And remember that when you always used to say, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do this. Well, guess what? You now have time to do this. So whatever that this is, go ahead and do it. Carrie, go ahead. And I know you're on mute, if you can be unmuted. I can't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
You are unmuted by the host. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you guys, my husband was working on my audition videos and sending them to Rob and Obama. So I'm on my phone for the first time. I've never Zoomed on the phone. So bear with me if I'm unmuted or not muted, you got to tell me. So what I was going to share is I've been doing webinars and just lots of personal development in my coaching and in my speaking, and everything has just started to bloom when I was shut down with COVID. And so I want to share that I'm doing something a little differently where everybody's diving into those spaces. I think it's really important to check out. I'm thinking of people like Fasana and Annie in the room who you've done all this work. And now I'm starting to realize that everybody else is starting to go where I've been. So I'm taking the confidence to stop learning and start sharing. And that's a change that I think before COVID, I was always like, I need one more course. I need one more experience. I need one more country to speak in. I need one more client to grow. And so I'm finally doing this. My house, I've always secretly have a husband that works very hard. We have a beautiful home, and I've always wanted to turn it into a big learning center. And I got up this morning at 7 to my husband, who'd been up at 4, putting Asira all over the house on dry erase boards, how to go to this level, how to go to that level. And I was like, I finally have my classroom in my living room because nobody's coming over for coffee. So I've just stepped into this space of active, and you guys have been so fun to share that with. So thank you.
So Fazana, I can see she's putting a message here. Fazana, do you want to share?
Sure. So I just want to give a huge shout out to both Alka and Carrie, first of all. These ladies and I have been absolutely, we've been working a lot closer together to really, I was saying, step up our level of leadership. We've all been leading independently and individually for quite some time now as women leaders in the world. And it's fun and it's inspiring to really be united with my soul sisters and share this space and learn to teach more effectively as we grow together. So that is what I wanted to start with. And Nadirah, great question. What I'm doing to embrace this new norm in my life for myself is, and for those people that know how much I love talking about and teaching on the concept of flow, what I'm doing to really embrace this time and space is I'm scheduling every moment of my time throughout the day. So I know that if Anna is listening to this, and if Obam, obviously they're here on the call, they're listening behind the scenes. My parents are really proud of me because I'm really taking myself, my purpose, my brand a lot more seriously by really committing to executing all of the things that I've started. So that's what I'm doing different to embrace this new norm.
And this is also a chance to master something. When you think about it, you have all the time because we are confined to the home, right? At the end of the day, you now can master something that you've always wanted. For me, I've always been a very scheduled person because of the job that I do in corporate. You're constantly on calls. But now when I have a bit of that time, before I was rushing out doing an event, going out to certain event, doing different things and hanging out with friends. But now that time, I'm like, okay, what is that growth? And I'm not gonna lie though, at the beginning, we're human being, right? It's hard for us to stop because we're just constantly on the go, but then we're restricted now. It was a transition. So I just want for people listening out there, we're not saying it's going to be quick and easy, but it's really a mindset. You literally can say, you know what, this is my new reality. And that's why I talk about that Who Moved My Cheese. If you guys want to read, that's an amazing book. We just need to have this little moment of stepping back and just playing the victim and complaining and wondering what happened to the past. When is it coming back? Just to stop and to think and to reflect and to say, you know what, this is what I'm dealing with. It's no different than if you lose a lot of people are losing jobs, or you lose someone that you love. Furthermore, your reality is shifting and changing, right? All of us are going to be, there's a lot of people, I think unemployment is high up there. I believe there was maybe over 2 to 3 million people that just applied for unemployment. But my thing to them is like, financially, absolutely, it's going to be very difficult, but it's also a time to up your skills, to learn something new. And for you lovely ladies out there, you're doing an amazing work teaching people, not just locally, but at a global level. You have a chance to now have your voice reach millions and millions of people around the world. Because at this time, we need folks like you to inspire, to have people maintain their mental health. And I know yesterday, I believe it was Stephanie who was talking about your mental and your physical health. This time, in this new world, your mental and physical health is absolutely crucial to your well-being. And I can't stress that enough. And I'm sure, Stephanie, you can add a few more things here from your highlights of yesterday, because we are not moving as much as we used to. Think about that. When you're at home, what are you doing? Go from one bedroom to the kitchen, maybe the basement. That's not a lot of steps. A lot of us may not want, some of us are going for walks. Some of them may be lucky to have a gym at home, but we are not moving as individuals. We're on a couch or in the kitchen to get something to eat, or go back to the bedroom, and vice versa. And I think we're not conscious of the fact that our body is not moving as much. But we're also consuming some goodness, some great food, but eventually that's going to play in our psyche, right? That not eating healthy, that not moving and exercising. So that shift of a mindset to embrace a new reality will be much more difficult. So at the end of the day, it's not about just one change, it's about just a holistic view of what are the key small different things that I have to do to keep myself sane. Stephanie, I don't know if you want to add maybe some pointers here about some small little key things that folks can do. I don't know if Stephanie can be unmuted. I think only the host can unmute. Obama, are you able to unmute?
She's unmuted.
Okay.
Hi. Sorry about that.
No, we can hear you.
I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot. I'm not in a place where I can just go on camera, but for sure, what in terms of some of the things that you were looking for when it comes to some of the points that I touched on yesterday, was there anything in particular that you'd like me to touch on to be able to kind of drive home for people?
So here's my thing. My thing is about giving people information in bite size, small little bite size that it's doable for them, right? At the end of the day, we just need to say, hey, if you do ABC and you do it consistently every day, at least you try to do it consistently every day, it will help with your mental and physical health down the road, especially during COVID-19, when we're very restricted on movement and getting out there and doing stuff.
Totally. Yes, 100%. And I think, like I said yesterday, some of the biggest things is the fear, you know, and how that can have such a big effect on the body. So being able to get into a state of calm and really utilizing love as the answer to be able to respond to situations so that it doesn't turn your body into that state of stress and then increasing cortisol to a chronic level and then leading to other health complications. So I think one of the biggest things and one of the biggest points to drive across for everyone now is to respect yourself and love yourself in a way that is going to put your own health, you know, at the forefront of what you do so that you can pour into others. And I know Fasana has the same philosophy and we talk about it a lot, you know, being able to pour into others because you first were able to serve yourself.
And I can't stress enough about healthy eating. And I have to be honest with you, even though I'm enjoying making all these bread. By the way, Homemade bread makes me feel much better than buying the stuff at the store. I don't know how much I can keep up with it after, but I do feel better. But before, if I was consuming too much carbs, I feel like taking a nap. So whatever you put in your body does make a difference. You either will give you more energy or will just make you want to take a nap, right? So that is the one part, which is the physical thing. And when you're embracing the new world, as for me, I'm always very hungry for new knowledge. So right now I'm reading a book called Courage. And if you guys can look it up, I can't remember the name of the author. Actually, I don't have it here in the office. I have it in the kitchen. Courage is a really great book to read because especially this time where we are today, we need to have the courage to move ahead. We need to have the courage to move on. To your point, Stephanie, yes, there's a lot of people that's living in fear today. And fear is a normal reaction for any one of us. Courage is very difficult to have. But at the end of the day, we all have it within us, right? And this is a time as human beings, as humankind, we can just step up and have that change and have that courage. But it will be one of those things that you will need to learn how to do this, right? Because we are individual that are nature of habits. We are who we are. But when you shift into that mindset of growth mindset, then you'll be able to discover that you can make the changes that you want to make. It's no different like a child. As a child is growing up, they're learning a lot of new different things. They're being taught new things at school. But eventually, when we become an adult, we think we don't need to learn anymore, that we know everything. I highly disagree with that. I think we have to continuously learn and grow and get new information and consume new information, because that helps us to continuously become the better person and evolve into who we are. Because the person that we are today is not the person that we were in our 20s and 30s, and I'm giving my age, in the 40s. We're constantly evolving. Just like a kid who's constantly learning, us as individuals, especially in this time, we constantly have to continue learning. Whether attending, this great, amazing webinar that you guys are doing, which I do listen to. Occasionally I listen to Fazana. Fazana is amazing. Love that woman. And you just feel uplifted. Sometimes you just want to hear somebody like a Fazana to feel very uplifted with things, right? But allow yourself to listen and to be present. And that's how I think at the end of the day, we can embrace that change. I don't think it's one magic things you have to do. It's a combination of things you have to do. Obama, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you, for you, one of the questions you asked me, like, what's the things that everyone is doing right now, that one thing? Obviously, I know now I'm too far away to get bread, so you would have to send it to me. That's one of the things you're doing. What's another one you're doing to kind of elevate your mind? I know you're starting to read a lot, but what's probably the best book you've read, maybe within the last 3 months, that you would recommend someone do to kind of help shift their mindset?
So to be fairly honest, because of last year's schedule was pretty hectic, I was actually running for office, so that was pretty hectic. So I didn't read anything in the past year, but the one that I just picked up, because I got a lot of people gave me a lot of different books, so I'm finally getting through them. And you gave me one of your book as well, to Obama, that I've been kind of going through it. So the latest one is really the current one. It's like I think of is Courage. That's the one I think it was appropriate for this time. I remember picking that book up a few months ago and I couldn't get into it. So I put it down. And I have to tell you, now that I'm in a different mindset, that book now is now relevant to me. And that made me pause for a second. Why didn't I was able to get into it a few months ago? Because a few months ago, every one of us in a whole different mindset, in a whole different world environment. That has shifted and changed now. Our body, our mind, our soul is craving for something different. So we need to look and search for that. For me, it's about this book, Courage, right? Because all of us need to have the courage to get through this difficult time. For each one of us, it will be very different. So the one thing will be is a key learning, because we need to shift, we need to learn, we need to grow. But for me, personally, is this courage. For somebody else, it may be something else. So ask yourself, what is it that you are craving to learn? And one thing that I've started doing, I have to tell you, so it's not so much about learning new stuff and moving. It's also that could be a TV show. So I have to tell you, one of the TV shows that I always loved, because that was the years that I first came to Canada 30 years ago from Mauritius, was the show Friends. Everybody's familiar with Friends. So I've recently started watching Friends again. I know there's many, many different series. I figure I got time, but I started watching it again simply because it makes me feel happy. It brings joy, and it brought me back to that also old self that was very excited and fresh. And when I started watching it, every time I feel a bit down, I started watching the show Friends. I feel excited about it. I feel happy. It puts me in a whole different mindset, even just a couple of episodes. So you can figure out what is it that for you. Some people it's music, the love of music. Like I'm a big fan of Madonna, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. So when I'm cooking or I'm cleaning, I will be putting those music on, and it brings back great memories. It brings joy. It puts me differently. So we talk about, the eating and exercising and all that, but there's so many different ways that you could get yourself in a healthier mental state of mind. Because throughout the day, and I'll take myself as an example, we are constantly, depending on what's happening coming at us, we are constantly shifting the moods.
Yeah.
But we have to be conscious that the mood is shifting.
Right. You mentioned earlier, Nadirah, that the book Courage you're reading, and it wasn't really relevant earlier, but it's kind of relevant now and you're reading it. And the first thing that popped into mind is, I'll have Fasana jump in here for a second, because it's like her thing. She's always talking about it's divine alignment, it's divine timing, right? And now's the timing, because it's a lot about the courage to do what's necessary, what's required. One of the things I'm doing differently is, this, and again, thanks to Fasana introducing me, being focused more on being healthier, right? So I've taken more of an aggressive stance on my health, because like you said, we're not moving a lot. So I'm eating the stuff that will move through my body faster than the stuff that's just gonna sit there. But it's a lot of it is divine timing and divine alignment. So with that note, opening the conversation some more, I would definitely love, for Sana to talk about that a little bit, because it is a lot of divine alignment and timing now, and why that book, Courage, fell in your lap. I think there's so many things that you're going to do here in the next 90 days to 6 months that requires a lot of that courage. So it was the right timing to kind of scale up to that mindset. So I'll just put this conversation back to you and Fasana a little bit, because it's really a good piece to kind of switch in. So Fasana, take it away.
Okay, so my favorite topic, one of my favorite topics, and Nadirah, you know this, we've had conversations around this a lot, which is divine timing. And the way that I would, as simply as possible, explain that is that God's plan for us is bigger than the plan that we have for ourselves. In other words, some people have said to me over the years, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? And I'm so grateful for this community of thought leaders that we have attracted into this group. Nadirah, Alka, Jillian, Samara, Joe, Stephanie, the list goes on and on. And the truth is that what we've been gifted with within our family here, from a business perspective, it's such an incredible blessing, because the group of people that are on this Zoom call, and for all of you out there that are watching on Facebook Live, the people who are resonating deeply with our message, with what we're sharing and the energy of where we're coming from. We are visionaries. We are pioneers. We are, as I mentioned, thought leaders. So for me personally, I'm involved in a new business venture that I really didn't think that I would have become involved in. But because of the blessing of COVID-19, like Nadirah said, giving us the time to really grow and evolve and expand, I'm personally leveraging this time for myself to finish writing my book, which I've been doing forever, to connect deeper with other like-minded people who are on the same or a similar path to me, who are looking to, like Nadirah said, have the opportunity to have millions and millions of people hear my message personally. I was actually chatting with my girlfriend earlier, Stephanie, who's on this call, and we were talking about conscious leadership. You know, Carrie touched on it today as well. And I wrote a post on Facebook after being inspired by Stephanie this morning. And I said something along the lines of, you know, if you are out there and have time to be able to criticize someone else's level of leadership or their style, may this be your divine reminder to focus on your own level and style of leadership, right? Because all of us have a message, all of us have a story, and all of us have experience and wisdom that we have been gifted the struggle, the adversity, the problems, the challenges, the mental or the health, the physical health issues, for us to then learn how we can actually find the solutions to then overcome said challenges. And that's a gift, ladies and gentlemen, in itself, because every solution or every challenge you overcome, now you have that experience and wisdom where you can simply pay it forward and share that information with someone else. You know, one of my biggest lessons in the field of leadership as a whole, and Nadirah, I would love your thoughts on this, because this really hit me hard. A lot of us wait till we're quote unquote perfect to start teaching. A lot of us wait until we have it all, the financial abundance, the abundance in our health and our relationships. But the truth is that you only have to be a few steps ahead of the people that you're meant to serve. So, yeah.
I'm in full agreement with you. We do, because as human beings, the way we see ourselves and the way others see us are very differently. We're always much harder on ourselves.
Yes.
And that's the reality. But to your point, you can serve anybody who's willing to be served, right? I know there's a lot of people who may be listening, go, oh, it's not that easy to change and all that. And it's true. We're not going to try to minimize it, go, oh, yeah, you can do this. So, no, it's not. However, if you consciously just make the decision you want to and reach out to somebody that can, that's a start. Because sometimes you may not be able to do it on your own. And that's why you have great people like yourself, Azana, who can hold a person's hands and walk them through it.
Yeah.
Because ourselves, we had conversation before when, you know, there was some stuff that was unclear. I'll call you up and you set me straight, which is lovely. And sometimes you need that, right? You need you hear somebody to tell you something in different words, in different ways. And we as human beings, we tend to live in isolation. And right now, literally, we're living in isolation. But we're not meant to be lived in isolation. We're not meant to be lived in communities. So now we have these virtual communities because of COVID-19, but you can still reach out to people and you can still assist. So for those of you out there who are listening and struggling and just feeling depressed and anxiety because of what's happening and hard for you to embrace a new reality, reach us, reach to any one of those lovely ladies on this call today, and to Dr. Obama or Joe, reach out, and these folks will be very, very happy to assist and hold your hand. That's what we're here for, right? That's what you guys are here for, is to help along individuals that are struggling. Because some people think they can do it on their own, and the reality, no. We always need somebody to help us in many different ways, right? And there is nothing wrong in saying, you know what, I'm not feeling so great today because of that. And once you start speaking to somebody, you realize that you are normal. It's normal to feel that way. It's normal to have that anxiety. It's normal to sometimes have going through that roller coaster of emotion. But be cautious when you're going through it and ask yourself, what was the trigger? How do I get out of it? What do I need to do next? How do I take a moment? It's called being human. Because especially us women, we have this syndrome called being superwoman.
Yes, we do.
Right? We are superwoman. We want to do it all. We want to work. We want to take care of the home. We want to do this. We want it to be our best shape. We want to eat the health. We set the standard so high for ourselves. We have that complex of being superwoman. And the truth is, we're probably superwoman most of the time, and sometimes we're not. And superwoman definitions could be different for each one of us. And that weakness, because and this is something that I've changed within myself in the past few years. It's okay, especially being a strong woman, that Fazana constantly reminds me of my masculine energy versus my feminine energy. So thank you for that, my love.
Of course.
And it's okay sometimes when you're feeling weakness, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially in this environment, we are going to feel very weak because we don't have control. And it's okay. You have to embrace it, you have to accept it, and you have to be able to figure out how to get out of it, right? And how to improve from it and move on from it. And one thing that I do, that I think everybody should do, whether you do it on your birthday or calendar year, I always look back at my life the year before. I say, okay, did I do what I wanted to do? Did I accomplish? What did I accomplish? Where is it that I want to go next year? I always set intentions for next year. And I'm a big planner person, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now, I'm always setting intentions. But at the same time, I always try to learn. And a few years ago, like Fazana mentioned, I'm at this beautiful community of soul family. And Fazana is one of them. Rosa is another individual that I've talked to as well, who are amazing people that I get to learn so much from, because I come from a corporate world, I come from a political world, but I have to tell you, hanging out with people like whether it's Sarah, Fazana, or Rosa, or Dr. Obama, or Aka, it's amazing, because then you get to learn something very different, very new. And I will encourage everybody, explore another arena that's normally not your comfort zone or not your normal. Because when you explore something very different from what you're used to, you will get some great learnings from that. Doesn't mean you have to be in it 100%. It just means you're going to have growth from it. I'm always trying to teach Fazana some other stuff about corporate.
You know, this is one of my favorite things about conscious love and relationships. Nadirah is so skilled and empowered and confident in so many areas that I'm just not, you know, and that's one of the beautiful balances of our friendship and our sisterhood. And, you know, you said something, you said so many golden nuggets just now. I wanted to really feed off of one of them, but essentially what's happening right now with COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually a really beautiful time and space that's allowing us to really surrender and shed any remaining ego that we are all holding on to. And why I say this is that people like us are coming together in groups from all over the world to experience an energy, a culture that's based out of love, where we're all starting to realize that we don't have to do, like you said, Nadirah, we don't have to be super women all by ourselves anymore. This time and space for me personally has really allowed me to play my part in a community and on a team, in a family, so that I can leverage my strengths and you can leverage my strengths, and we can empower people by teaching about whatever it is I teach about. And same with you, but everybody's working together and doing something that they're loving to do, and we work together as a whole. So that's personally something that's happening with myself. I see Alka nodding her head. I know Stephanie resonates deeply, and Jillian, Jane, Carrie, we've all had this conversation behind the scenes that it's actually a really beautiful feeling, because instead of being codependent in our relationships, see, women like Nadirah, women like Fasana, women like Stephanie and Samara, Alka, Anna, Jillian, we love to contribute, we love to inspire, and at the same time, we love to be supported and appreciated and acknowledged. Right, Nadirah?
Well said, sister. Well said. And one little maybe call to action for folks. Most people are not into the habit of meditation. Even though we have a lot of time now, we're at home, we're not really calm. Our mind is not calm. We're constantly thinking, worrying, fear. It's good for us to kind of learn, and this is something even from corporate, they teach us how to do, just to take a moment to regroup, right? Because oftentimes you need to pivot, because if you don't regroup, you're not able to see things clearly and you're all over the place. So I would kind of encourage everybody to meditate daily. You have time. And your body's going to fight it. I'm not going to lie to you. The first time you meditate, your mind fight it. You can't, people, it's very, very difficult for us to stay still, to make our mind still, because we're constantly thinking, did I do that? I have to do laundry now. Did I send that email? I'm supposed to be doing that. What am I going to cook today? Oh my God, I run out of bread, or I run out of vegetables. We're constantly thinking. So maybe this is a small little challenge that anybody can do. Challenge yourself to just do a 5-minute meditation, or even 3 minutes, because 5 minutes will be long when you're not used to do it. 3 minutes meditation daily, and eventually increase it. You will literally see a difference. I have a good friend of mine who was a VP at HP. She actually meditates every day. So we had a quiet room at the office. She will go down there for 15 minutes, meditate, and then go back. And that helps us become much more productive when we're taking those few minutes to just calm our mind. But meditations, I don't know who's the guru of meditation in this group, but we can give some pointers. Meditation is also actually very difficult, so I'm not going to lie, because your mind doesn't stay still. But what will be some of the key things here from this great group here that you can advise people about how to start effectively meditating?
I can contribute, Nadirah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like you, meditation, when I learned about it years ago, was really difficult. When we say meditation, as in close your eyes, take deep breaths, clear your mind of any thoughts, and just be at peace, feel that solitude, my mind is always going. So over the course of the years in my journey, I actually learned about self-hypnosis, which serves me and people like me. Nadirah is smiling, so I know she knows what I'm about to say. Jillian is familiar with this information. Obam is familiar with this. It's rather than trying to meditate and then feeling discouraged because you can't do it the way that it may have traditionally been taught. It's more about understanding how your mind works and then nourishing your mind with the most beautiful, abundant, love-filled, joyful, calming thoughts that you can. And having conversations, I like to call them higher self conversations with ourselves, right? Conversations with God, having that conversation with yourself to remind yourself, okay, you know what? Yes, I am safe and I am protected. Thank you. You know, I'm so happy and grateful to be healthy and to have my loved ones around me, and they're also healthy in this time and space, right? And just continuously staying focused on the positive and the things that we actually have to be grateful for. See, personally for me, that's how I go down very negative, very icky rabbit holes, which we don't want anyone going down. Nadirah, you hit it on the nail earlier. Mental and physical health are things that we must prioritize in this time and space, because we don't have our typical routines of going to the gym and getting the workouts in, or commuting to work and things like that. So I was literally just having a conversation with my baby sister, who was telling me that she has a day off of work. I guess it's a weekend. She has a day off of working from home, and she was feeling down. And, you know, she knows what I'm going to say. Why haven't you called me yet? Or call me now. She actually just called while we were on the phone. And I reminded her, I said, my love, listen, you are so beautiful and you are so perfect. And just a reminder that an idle mind or an empty mind is the devil's playground, right? Obam talks about the fact that I think it's 87% of our thoughts are negative automatically. So especially during a time like this, if you have trouble meditating, guess what? This is your wake-up call to know you're never alone. We're here with you. We understand. It's just simply about continuously educating yourself. And like Nadirah said, develop mastery. Develop mastery around yourself and understand the way that you talk to yourself matters. So if we know that, then why not make it, and I'm going to get playful, I'm going to get fun here. This is the way I speak to clients, and this is the recommendations and suggestions that I actually give people. Make it fun, make it delicious, make it sexy, make it happy and abundance, because that's how much power you actually have within you. And guess what? The more you do it, the better you become. And the better you become, the more you transform. And the more you transform, the more you evolve and grow. And over time, people will start to notice. People will start to reach out. Hey, Nadirah, you're starting to glow these days, sister. What are you doing? What are you doing different? You become the positive influence, and you step into a higher level of leadership to be able to inspire and serve other people. So it's okay if you can't meditate, neither can I, but you do have the option of having beautiful and positive conversation with yourself. And yes, it takes time, but once you really identify the thoughts in your mind that will allow you to focus exclusively on the love, on the God, on the spirit, on the universe, on the abundance that you do in fact have available to you right now, you win.
So Joe mentioned that he's never, Joe, sorry for picking on you there while you're eating. Joe said he's never meditated since high school. Joe, would you take this on as a challenge this week to try to meditate? You are on mute. He's giving a, can you unmute Joe? All right, Joe.
Absolutely.
So Joe,
challenge accepted.
So how come you stopped meditating after high school?
Honestly, I just did it in a psychology class back in high school and just never focused on it since, really.
So here's something that I thought would be great. This is somebody who hasn't meditated in a long time. It will be really good for you maybe to document your journey of meditation.
I started
How's that
2 days
experience
ago.
going? How long did it last? The first minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and the craziness that goes on in your mind. And the reason why I say you document and share it with everybody, because then everyone will see that it's normal to go through that until you get to a space where you can really find that calmness and that stillness.
I'm okay with that. I'll do it.
So Nadirah, when Fastano was talking, she was, making that point, like when someone would say, well, girl, where you been? What have you been up to? You've been glowing. And in my mind, I just heard like, well, I've been breaking bread. That's why I'm glowing.
Yes, and you guys should try it if you haven't made bread yet. Homemade bread is absolutely delicious. It's not that difficult. But it's very time consuming, and I think time is a luxury we have today. So if what we decide to do, I know we have like 9 minutes left here, and I want to respect the time for everyone. Really today what I wanted to do was to come on and talk about embracing the new reality, right? Embracing the fact that the world has changed, and it may never be the same as we used to remember it. It will be different, but that's okay. Change is good, right? as soon as we embrace this change now, as we move forward in life, we will get used to change. We will continue growing with change. And it's all about a mindset and a heart set, right? And as human beings, regardless of the age that we're in, we need to make sure that we keep on moving, because playing the victim, getting upset, getting anxiety, it's not healthy for any one of us, right? And I love this great group here who are constantly be influence of change agent. You guys are really change agent for this world. And I will encourage anybody who's listening to reach out to these wonderful, beautiful people on the call today that you see on Zoom. Follow them, ask questions, because those folks do this today as a profession and can really kind of hold your hand through it. I'm a person that embrace it, love it, but I'm really a corporate girl and also in politics. But I also understand the importance of a very healthy mental state and physical state. And I'm also an individual that loves life and likes to be happy. So by personality, I'm fairly optimistic. So I'm pretty lucky this way. Nothing, right? That's just my personality. But even that, sometimes it's hard. I go through my ups and downs and sadness. Well, clearly, we're not going to show that and share that on Facebook, because whatever you see on Facebook is always, oh my God, the amazing life. But remember, that's social media life. That is not the reality of day-to-day life. So when you're seeing these people having this great time, amazing time, that's just a moment in their life. That is not their full life. Their full life probably looks like any one of us, where we have good times, bad times, sad times, struggling time, but we keep on moving. It's sad that we live in a society, and I don't want to talk about the whole social media. I think that's probably a whole different segment, not the 7 minutes we have left. But it's sad that people look at people's social media feed and make judgment out of that. Oh my God, look at how amazing their life is. It's just a moment of their life that they had an amazing time that they're sharing with everybody. They're not sharing it with, they're not sharing the hard time with everyone. Nobody does that unless it's somebody that passed away. That I tend to see on social media, right? Carrie said, yeah. But majority of people don't. So the little moment that you saw this person sharing this good news, they probably worked really, really, really hard at it to finally have that moment. And now they want to share it with the world. And now the world thinks, oh my God, this is their life all the time. No, we can all get those moments, but we just have to work for it. But just know that behind these posts that takes 30 seconds to post is very normal, real world. Especially now, we're becoming in a world where it's going to be very difficult. Unemployment is going up. The economy is going to be extremely, it's taking a beating. A lot of small business owners are struggling, and it is going to continue. Alka just mentioned she had to shut down her business, and now she's moving on virtual. She has to adapt. We all have to adapt. But as a community, we are all there to kind of help each other and be there for each other. Carrie wanted to say something, but we can unmute Carrie. I know we have 5 minutes left here, and then we'll maybe close off.
Okay, did that work?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say that I'm a person that is afraid of blanket talks where we put things on like everybody. I want to encourage you guys. I get on all the time on Facebook Live because I'm a survivor of suicide. And so I want to go along with what you were saying to support you, Nadirah. For those of us that are afraid to get on and show who we are, I feel like it's our responsibility on media to show who we really are. It's fun to show the birthdays and the trips and the beachside pictures, but it's.
You unmute.
Oh, she just muted herself. Hold on.
She just muted herself. Okay.
Okay, there you go. What?
The darn phone. I just feel like when I'm doing talks to mental health, I'm always sharing that it's you and it's me and it's everybody's responsibility to be vulnerable and real and try and show as much real life as we can on media, because other people are feeding off of those perfect lives that you're talking about, those, you know, seeing social media and seeing everybody looks happy and perfect. And then we all feel like we we don't have as great of a life. I do get on and I do share. So if you're thinking about being vulnerable out there, you guys, it's important to say that, you know, you lost your job or whatever. It's also a great space to say, but because I have this thing called a Nazeer, it's keeping me afloat. So that's just a small space where you can say, in all honesty, what happened, but this is elevating me. And I'm so thankful. I've been getting on Facebook Live and saying, I'm so excited for a Nazeer, not just for the opportunity to work from home, to meet people like Obam and to be elevated with people like Fasana, and now having Nadirah in my life. It's such an awesome space to get on and say, life was not so fun on social media, but guess what? It's getting better. That's where I use social media, is to be honest with people and let people really see who you are, and then just lift them up. So yeah, I just wanted to share that I'm one of the few people that does get on there, and I cry and I have heartache and I share my moments that are dark and dreary. And it also gives everybody on the other side, instead of the generation saying, don't put your stuff, you know, put it under the carpet, don't let everybody see your dirty laundry. I have more following in an audience of people that are saying, thank you so much for showing a little bit of the darkness in your life today, because it made me realize that I can rise up from my own darkness. And it made me realize that everybody has that, right?
Absolutely, because we all have a story. We all have stuff that happened. We are not where I didn't, when Obama just introduced me, I just didn't become that person. And there was a lot of hard work, headache, tears, ups and downs that got me to where I am. But we don't tend to show that, which is unfortunate. Right. We only highlight, oh my God, look at this and that. We are doing all of this. Look at those accomplishments. But there was a journey. There was a hard journey to get to that accomplishment. I think we need to start sharing some of those journeys, the difficult one that eventually got us to where we are today. Mm-hmm. And one of the intentions that I had today, I wanted to be my authentic self. Like I said at the beginning of the call, I wear zero makeup today and with my hair in a bun. Because if you follow me on social media, it's always very dressed up, hair done, makeup done. But that's me when I'm at events, but this is also me when I am at home.
Yep, love it.
And it's okay to, and to your point, social media need to start showing the authentic people.
And it starts with us.
Yes, not just the cover page of a magazine. We're not that, right? Yeah. We are real. We have issues. We work through our issues, and we keep on moving. Just the key thing here, I know we're top of the hour. I'm going to pass it to you, Bob, to close it out. Key thing here is just to be your authentic self and keep on moving. It's going to be difficult, but you just have to keep on moving. So I'm going to leave you guys on that note. I'm going to say thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. I look forward to getting to each one of you guys that I don't know yet. And I appreciate your time and your feedback. And Obama, I'm going to pass it over to you for closing.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Nadirah. One of the things I want to say is this: for the women that are beautiful, I always love to slow down the word, because the way for you to be as beautiful as possible is be you, Tifo. As you be you, you are Tifo. And I'm excited. So thank you so much for, I guess I should say, dropping the mic, the bombs, and the golden nuggets today while you're being you, people, in this chat. So I sincerely appreciate you, appreciate your time. And just like today, ladies and gentlemen, you get a chance to be joined again tomorrow. You got it from on Facebook too. So we've been having some amazing comments from the folks on Facebook, because the Facebook app wasn't working for Zoom, but I'm using my phone to kind of capture it the whole way, right? So everybody's got the phone version. But tomorrow we'll be back at 1 p.m. Don't hide, young lady. Tomorrow we'll be back at 1 p.m. with a different message, same time, with another lovely lady. You guys see, this whole week I've had nothing but beautiful women, but one of the most beautiful women, and I just happen to marry her, is Anna tomorrow, talking about, what are you talking about tomorrow, my love?
Your moral compass.
Boom! She's going to be talking about your moral compass tomorrow. So it is a topic that's near and dear to her heart. and I'm excited. So Nadirah, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the happiest woman on the Zoom, because she came from the island of Mauritius, which is known to be the happiest place in the world. Thank you so much, Nadirah. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow at 1 p.m. God bless, and talk to you all soon. Bye for now.
You guys, bye.